Those mornings when you wake up and you feel like, see what I ordered, see what I ended up with. You get what I mean? Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel, Life, Love, and Relationships. My name is Oluwakemi. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Life, Love, and Relationships. Today's topic is highly demanded. Most times when I'm speaking with people, I think what they are saying, but not saying outrightly, is that they believe that they've chosen the wrong wife or the wrong husband. Those mornings when you wake up and you feel like, see what I ordered, see what I ended up with. You get what I mean? So what to do when you find yourself in that situation? First of all, acknowledge that you've come a long way from where you were at the time that you decided to marry that person and where you are now. You're probably only having those moments of doubt now because your worldview has evolved from where you were at that time to where you are now. Your horizon has widened. You're seeing life in a much richer perspective. So you look back and then you think you didn't do well by yourself, right? But the truth is, for you to be able to move on and step into what I would call higher ground, you must acknowledge where you were at that point in your life when you decided that this was going to be the person that you'd spend the rest of your life with. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it's been a journey. Celebrate it, because this now was a prayer point maybe many years ago, maybe many months ago. You need to acknowledge that, celebrate it, honor it. That's another thing you must do. Honor where you were. It is who you were, and it was just your perspective, your worldview at that point in time. Honor it. Honor it. And I'm sincerely believing that if you do these three, you acknowledge, you celebrate it, and you honor it, it will then bring you into the perspective of gratitude, which is where you must come into. By all means and every means necessary, you must get to the point where you are grateful, because gratitude gives you another perspective. It moves you from the point of complaining to the point where you see that you have journeyed so long. You've come so far. So you acknowledge, you celebrate, and you honor, and hopefully, I mean, very, very hopefully, it will bring you into a perspective of gratitude. And once you get into the perspective, it's a game changer anytime. When your heart is full of gratitude, when you're grateful about something, your perspective changes automatically. There's something your Igbos call positive psychology. Is the ability to see things, to see the cup half full all the time and not half empty, if you get what I mean. So once you come into this place of gratitude, where your heart is full of gratitude for where you've been and where you are now, it is always better to then move on from this angle of gratitude. Hopefully, like I said earlier, this gratitude moves you from a complaint perspective. I say that word again, moves you from a complaint perspective to a solution perspective. But that solution must begin from a place where you are grateful. And one of the things to help you reach gratitude is to start by acknowledging where you were, celebrate how far you've come, and honor where you were at the time. So at this solution perspective, you're then able to take control. You are now in charge. It is no longer your feelings that are flying up and about. Your feelings are no longer dictating your actions, right? So you are now in control. You're fully in the moment of what your life is presenting, not just what is presenting in the present, but where you've come from and the whole collection of happenstances and the graces you've enjoyed up to this point. So you're no longer focusing on the bad situation, but you're now celebrating how far you've come. And once this gets you to that solution perspective, you can then move and take a decisive and favorable and advantageous action from there. So when you get to this juncture, you are most times faced with two options. Those two options are you keep going, and the second option is that you keep going. I'm sure you were expecting to hear something else, but those are the two options you have. You keep going and you keep going. You must remember that whatever decision you make now would likely bring you again to this juncture in the next few years again, because the way our lives are, we keep evolving, we keep opening up ourselves to better ideas, better ways of doing things, what we should have, what we should not have. So there's a high likelihood that in the next few years to come, you'll find yourself at a place where you're also thinking about now how you got to this place now and how you were able to move forward. So you need to learn from when you made that decision to marry this person, right? You must take lessons from there and make sure that right now you're making a very informed decision, because you would likely be back here again in the next few years. So do right by making sure that you're making the right choice for yourself. Like I said, the two options, if you are spiritual, is to keep going. Remember that whatever decision you make now would likely also bring you to the same point down the lane, and it will be either reflective or regrets. And you want to be sure at this point in time that, so now you must think like 10 years forward. You're not thinking about now, you're thinking about 10 years forward. You must bring into perspective what your goals are, who you intend to become in 10 years, and how you believe that this relationship may contribute to that person you want to become in 10 years. So you must think now, not just about where you are at the moment. You must have a certain level of clarity of goals for yourself to say, who do I want to become in 10 years? How is this relationship going to contribute or going to take away from who I want to become in 10 years? So, like I said, reflective or regret. I hope you make the decision that takes to the point of reflective that leads you to gratitude. It's very important that you're extra cautious now, because remember that you were at this decision point. You were at this point where you made a decision many years ago, and now you are here, and then you feel like you haven't done well to yourself by choosing this person. So you must be extra cautious now, so that you don't find yourself in that lane yet again in the years to come. Remember, you cannot make decisions based on how you feel again. It's not just your feelings that should dictate the decision you're about to make now. In one of my videos, I've talked about how you must have a meeting with yourself and bring your heart, bring your brain, and bring the truth to that meeting. The truth must be the one chairing that meeting. Even though you want to hear your views, your heart would want to hear his or her views about that particular situation. Your brain would bring the logic, the facts that present in that particular situation, and all of that. And then the truth would calm you and tell you that you can take charge of the situation by doing this or by doing that. Things you must consider are, between that time and now, what are the lessons that you have learned? How can they help you put a break on your emotions now? If you're spiritual, what is God saying? How is this decision, whatever decision you make now, how is it going to impact your calling? You must holistically consider all of these things. I don't believe that anybody can tell you this is what you must do. It's your decision. How does the decision you're about to make now, how does it impact your destiny? How does it impact your calling? How does it impact the you that you see in a few years to come? How does it impact your life's purpose, your life's goals? These are the things that you must consider now. Perhaps there are adjustments you can make without shortchanging your destiny. You can go for counseling. It can never be overemphasized that self-meeting can help you a lot. A lot of the things, yes, we want to make money. Relationship therapists, we want to make money. But the truth is, a lot of the things, what relationship therapists actually do is to ask you questions that can bring things better into perspective for you. We ask you questions because we can't provide the answers. You want to make money. So yeah, if you can go to counselors or relationship therapists, why not? To have somebody holding you and guiding you through this journey, it's really good. But again, you can conduct self meetings with yourself. Ask yourself a lot of deep questions, because even after you've met with the relationship therapist or the counselors, you get home and you continue the work, because there are questions that you've been asked that you need to dig deep within yourself to provide objective answers that truly reflect your situation. You will also ask yourself, how must you push yourself? How can you push yourself to continue going? Remember, like I said earlier, that your only two options are to keep going and to keep going. Really, those are the two options you have. Keep going and keep going. Your decision must not dictate who you become onwards, whether you decide to stay or you decide to leave. It should not decide who you become. You must keep going, because there are other areas of your life. In fact, your life is more important than that decision you're making. It's just that we know that that decision you're making would impact the quality of life that you're able to live. And in terms of quality, I'm not just referring to the things that the eyes can see, also the things that the physical eyes cannot see, right? Whatever decision you make should not impact who you become and how your life moves on from that point onward. So you must keep going on with your life, regardless of whether you're staying or whether you're leaving. You must keep on going with your life. And I'm not saying this to encourage selfish decisions, right? I'm saying this because you must keep going. You must keep going. There is so much more to your life than marriage. So you must keep going. Your life must keep going. You must still continue to chase your dreams, continue to pursue your goals. If you decide to stay and you continue to pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, pursue your life's purposes, in most cases you become more attractive. You're then no longer focusing on the issue in the marriage, but these other things can bring you joy. When there is joy in your heart, it creates an atmosphere around you that you then become more desirable, right? So there's advantage in you not focusing on just this issue, but also continue to pursue your life's dreams, purpose, and goals. So whether you're staying or leaving, you must keep going, because there's so much to you. There's so much to your life than this relationship. Another point you must consider is, what different inputs can you make? What have you been doing all along? Can you make a different input and see whether you will get a different result? Because you know what? The results of this marriage is not only dependent on what your spouse does, it is also dependent on how much, you know, the popular story about the threefold: you, yourself, your spouse, and God, right? What are the different inputs that you can make that would likely produce your desired result? What can you do differently? You must sit down during this self-meeting as well to ask yourself questions. When he does this, when she does this, how can I respond in a different manner that is not just reactive, but it's a response to that situation, and that response can resultantly give you your desired outcome. I hope these few points have been very helpful. I hope that you add prayer to the equation. Please, if this has blessed you, kindly comment. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, remember to subscribe. And I want to thank you again for getting to this point, for listening to this episode of Life, Love, and Relationships. See you in the next episode. Bye.